my name is Amit Ray. As you've seen, I'm with DWM, which is an investment firm, and we invest in technology companies and startups. One of our platforms, which is called Dana's Circle, we help international companies in technology come into India. We localize them. We help them with strategic partners. We also help them with customers. And when they have reached a certain degree of business traction, that's when DWM actually funds them and then for growth and scale here in India. All right? And one of the star companies that we are dealing with is Classic, and they are into the quantum computing software space. Now, why quantum? Why now? Right? Now, the thing is, a lot of was being said about AI a little earlier. Now, you can imagine being in a conference like this, in a tech conference like this, in October 2021. You don't have the horizon at that point of time, but it is right at the inflection point. We believe that quantum and quantum advantage is right there as an inflection point as of now. So quantum advantage is likely to hit us sometime in 2026 or early 2027. According to this report, for people who can't read this from far, 2025 to 2030, quantum has already started providing additional values. By 2030, 2035, it's giving something like about $2 trillion of incremental value to the world. Now, they are not the only ones. The proof of the pudding is actually the fact that a lot of the corporates are actually currently building capabilities in quantum as we speak, right? And not only the companies, countries are actually investing and committing on quantum mission. So you have, again, I can see that the numbers are all fudged up there a little because of the resolution, but for example, India is at about $1.7 billion, Germany is somewhere around 5.2, and these are committed funds according to missions across the globe. Now, all this is fine, but where is quantum today? Unfortunately, we find ourselves in the quantum space back in something like the 1965s, where, a lot of the quantum circuitry needs to be, the logical gates need to be done manually, right? And, quantum computing is not rocket science, but some would say that it is possibly, in some respect, tougher. Now, that brings us to some of these problems, which is like, it's difficult to get the right kind of programmers. We spoke about the manual aspect of it, so obviously scalability becomes an issue. There's also the aspect of hardware, right? The thing is, there are different kinds of hardwares attracting different software, different flavors, etc. And this is where Classic comes in, right? They are approachable. They've got a quantum modeling software, which actually is a very high-level, user-friendly software, which allows anyone, in terms of whether it be quantum experts, domain experts, or even classical computer software engineers, to actually access it. It actually works across hardware, so it becomes hardware agnostic, right? And of course, as far as scalability is concerned, which is really important in this space, as soon as systems upgrade, they don't collapse. Classic is one of the, if not the only few, who actually supports scalability in this space. So effectively, Classic is an enterprise-grade platform which allows companies to move from quantum experiments to creating actual quantum applications. And in the heart of all this is effectively, as I mentioned, the aspect of their quantum modeling software. There is a quantum compiler which synthesizes, recognizes what the circuitry is likely to be, helps people visualize this, because as I said, it might not be a quantum expert, but it could be a domain expert or a classical computer systems personnel looking into it. And of course, there is the aspect of take it anywhere and deliver anywhere in terms of being hardware agnostic, right? So that's the executive piece. Classic is the world's only scalable quantum operating system. And these are the logos, and this is the ecosystem that it actually thrives in. And we've heard of what Classic does, so a little bit of who Classic is, right? A world-class team, 70 patents, Fortune 500 companies in terms of strategic partners, in terms of clients, across 12 countries, eminent investors, some on the board of NVIDIA and Intel, and a story of about $180 million of funding. So that takes us to the space where Classic is actually providing impact in terms of what classical computers can't achieve. Optimization of portfolios to get greater alpha, better prediction of future investment value, options pricing, fraud detection, better architectures, fluid dynamics. Mind you, these are almost, well, these are impossible to do with classical computers. Energy optimization for power grids, discovering organic molecular materials, life sciences, drug discovery, looking into the future of internet. And to give due credit, Classic actually does it with select partners here. And as mentioned earlier, Classic here is here in India and intends to, there you are. Classic intends to get into India and actually be part of the Indian Make in India initiative. Thank you so much.